Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talk to You Fitchburg. Joining today from the Better Business Bureau right here in Southern Wisconsin, our favorite BBB All-Star, Tiffany Schultz. Welcome back to the show, Tiffany, and happy holidays. How you doing?
I'm great. 'Tis the season. We're ready to get started with all of our holiday returns today.
Darn right we are, because, it is the season of returns, which actually it's going to be so unique because a lot more people are doing this stuff online. So I think there's a lot, it's not as easy as it probably could have been in the past. But you got to think about these things up front, I think, more or less before you even make the purchase. So it's kind of really, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you probably should have always done that, but maybe because I've listened to you enough now, I know better to to check ahead. But getting in the frame of this holiday returns and exchange, where do you start?
You really need to check the return policies. Return policies are not consistent across retailers, and retailers do not need to take returns or exchanges. So really do your homework before you even click that purchase button or buy in store. You can search the return policies online. If you're buying online, you want to look at the return policy for that specific item you're purchasing, because some items, if they're on clearance, they're not going to be returnable in some cases. If you're buying in store, usually it's on the back of your receipt. It could be posted on the retailer's website, or you can even find it at the checkout. So really know what can be returned before you go ahead and purchase.
Reading through the notes here, I like this one that stands out to me. Stores are not legally required to accept exchanges or gift refunds. Are you kidding me? No, I was kidding. It's not surprising, though.
Not required, but most of them do. And a lot of the retailers have relaxed their return policies since COVID too. They are a little bit more lenient than they have been in the past. So that's something good that we're looking forward to, versus that, you had that 90 days. And if you returned on day 91, it wasn't returnable. COVID has relaxed that a little bit.
Yeah, and I would say too, some of the stores have picked up. So if you buy from like an Amazon or an eBay or something, and you have to make a return, some of the box stores are actually accepting some of those returns. So you go into their store and do some shopping. So you really got to do a lot of homework here. But there's also a lot of options on those returns. So tips to make it hassle free, getting to know the store policy. Just kind of review that. So you say you can see it at checkout, but what would be some good ways of learning more about their policies?
That's the key, to know the store policy, regardless if you're shopping online or you're shopping in store. What is your return time frame on that? Sometimes it's even printed on the receipt, the last return date that you can bring that item back. Do you need to show an ID when you return? When is it returnable? How do you return it? We're going to talk about these things throughout these next 10 minutes of, what you really need to have in order to make that return if it's returnable.
Yeah, so understanding those returns. So whether you buy it online or in store might differ from returning that product or item.
And how you can return that too. Like you had mentioned, some of the big boxes do have Amazon return sites. And if you purchase on a retailer's website, sometimes you can return it in store into that big box versus shipping it back. Again, there's some things that come along with that too. So we're going to learn more here in just a few minutes.
Darn right we are. So getting the details on the product warranty, probably a big one. And so I feel like a lot of people, maybe it's just me, you look at it like, but probably not a good idea.
This is a big one that comes into play when you're purchasing furniture, appliances, even small appliances. They offer a warranty, but how is that warranty? How do you get that warranty? Do you have to send the item back to the manufacturer? Is the retailer going to send it back to the manufacturer? Is somebody going to repair it to you? You want to find out who's responsible for that warranty, because sometimes it's just not as easy as returning it to the retailer.
Absolutely. And how about keeping that receipt or packaging? Is that important?
The receipt and the original packaging is extremely important. Some retailers will not accept return items without that original packaging, and some of the retailers even want the original receipt. It's always good to get a gift receipt. In most cases, a gift receipt is going to suffice. However, some retailers may want that original receipt, and in that case, you're going to need to get the gift giver involved.
Oh boy, that's probably not a good conversation to be had. Hopefully, it's some reason, good reason for that. Anyway, bring your ID. So important. You should have it anyways, but why do you need that?
Many retailers are requiring an ID to return items to prevent fraud. And in a lot of cases, retailers only allow you to return a certain value of items in a given time frame, whether it be 6 months or a year. So having your ID handy when you do go up to the counter to make that return is just going to make your return process a lot easier.
All right, attention, all of you lazy people out there like myself or procrastinators, returning these items in a timely fashion. Ding, 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 ding. I just like bells are going off right now here because you got to do that.
The week after Christmas is usually a very heavy holiday return and exchange time frame, but you're not limited to that week that you have to return. Obviously, you want to get something that you like, or maybe you got the wrong size sweater, you need to exchange it, you want to wear that. But there's usually a return window there, and it's usually printed on the back of the receipt. Sometimes the gift receipt has the last return date on it, but keep in mind that some retailers have gotten very lenient with COVID, and they've flexed their return policies. So a return policy that used to be 90 days may now be 120 days. Do you want to wait until the very last day to return? Probably not. But there's also retailers who will accept a return way after an item has technically expired to be returned. So keep that in mind too. Just because they say you can't return it doesn't mean that they're not going to accept it when you get to the store.
Yeah, good tips there. Looking at the exchange and whether you're going to get in-store credit back or put back on the card, you got to do that research ahead of time before you come out there because you don't want to be surprised when if you have to return those items.
It's really going to depend on what form of proof you have of purchase. Do you have a gift receipt? If you have a gift receipt, most likely you can get the return value back. They might give you a gift card back, or they might give you in store credit, or they could give you your money back. If you have the original receipt, likely you're going to receive the full value back in the same form of payment that you paid with. So keep all of that in mind. Just because you return an item doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get cash for it. If you don't have a receipt, you very well could get the lowest sales price back too. So there's a lot of variables, and you really need to know the retailer's return policy and exchange policy before you go ahead and expect anything.
Absolutely. Tiffany, if people want to learn more about any of these tips we just talked about today, or more just great tips on safe holiday shopping, about any of the, where can they find that?
Head on over to bbb.org. We have a great holiday page with a lot of holiday tips on all types of different topics.
All right, Tiffany Schultz, Better Business Bureau. Thank you so very much. I'm ready to return my. No, I'm just kidding. I know how to do it if I have to safely. Happy holidays to you. We'll talk to you later this month.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Check out the BBB's website for all information. And by the way, you should really check it out and do your research before you head out this holiday season. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.